today. I'm going to start talking about 7 deadly sins. And since we just went through Pride Month, I want to talk about pride. It's kind of an interesting word because it seems to have been misused for a long time. You know, my father would say, "I'm proud of you," if he did something right, and you know, maybe that is an okay way to use it, right? Because you know, to protrude, like in carpentry, or if it's proud, it sticks out past something, right? And if it's proud, usually unless you're explaining that you want it proud, it's usually a term like, oh, you're sticking out too much there. Cut a little bit more off and just, you know, sit with everybody else, right? And so I can understand why people are like, well, no, you want to be proud of your kid because you want them to like stand out, right? You want them to stick out. You want them to protrude out of the crowd because you don't want them to be just following the masses, right? You want them to do special things. So I guess it's what are you prideful about, right? And maybe there's a better word we can use in that, so then we can stop being so proud of our or of using the word pride, you know, because we just went through Pride Month, and I understand that there's been years of people like needing to hide away, and a lot of people have been hiding their sexuality and stuff like that, and then when they finally come out, they're all excited and they want to let everybody know, you know. But that's what other sexuality we don't go around. Like if I'm talking to people about sexuality, especially in the past, because I try to keep what happens in my bedroom to myself, you know what I mean, to a certain extent at least. You know, I kind of feel uncomfortable when men start talking about sexual acts, to be honest. Like it's not really, it doesn't, so you know, for us to just be so proud of our sexual acts regardless, or what we do sexually in our bedroom, or all those kind of things, that's pathological as far as I'm concerned. So you know, there's even, you know, if you're have pride in your race, for example, that leads to racism, right? You can be proud of you can be, let's say, if we're going to use the word, how to use the word properly, then we can be proud of an aspect of your culture. I'm proud that we've held this aspect, but just to, like, you know, for example, native pride, I've seen that around, you know what I mean? And if I said white pride on my shirt, how would that go over, right? Not good. So I mean, like, we can't be too proud, right? We have to remember it is the deadliest of all sins. So the thing is it's a double-edged sword, like it's two-sided. So I think about you can encourage your child, right? But you know, if you're like too proud of your child all the time, you're going to cause that kid to become very egotistical, right? And you want them to be humble, but like assertive and have confidence in themselves. That's like, you know, it's good for people to be confident but also humble, right? So there's that middle ground, right? So I mean, like, we should, even around spirituality, people are really like proud of themselves, and like they hold themselves to high regards and stuff like that. And sometimes you can be proud of yourself, like, but you know, like, for example, like, if I haven't been praying as much or like meditating as much, when I start doing it again and I'm like back in the motion, there is a good reason to pat yourself on the back, you know? But it's not like I'm going to, after, let it get out of hand and I've been meditating every day, I must be this, like, enlightened or something, right? And that's an idea of pride too, because I don't necessarily believe anyone is fully enlightened. you can be enlightened in an aspect of certain aspects of psychology or in life or in understanding, but you run into another enlightened person that's enlightened in their field of psychology or understanding, then all of a sudden you can actually learn more from that, and that's where that humility comes in, regardless of how much knowledge you obtain, right? So a lot of people are like, well, if it doesn't hurt anybody else, then and I'm like prideful and bring myself up, you know what I mean? Then how is it a sin? Well, you are sinning against God. You should realize that pride, God made you that, right? The humility will give you more. Your confidence because of what God gave you will slowly take it away, right? So that's why there is deadly sin that seem like they don't really affect, in certain ways they don't really affect other people, but you don't realize this, but as you affect your own spirit, it affects all the people around you. It's an energetic thing, so if we change our own lives, people see it and they want to do that also. And this bringing the spirit into your life, which dropping the ego and dropping your pride will bring the spirit into your life, will actually make you much higher of a person than you think you are. And that's because it's not you. You are representative of God, and that's why He's given you these things that you can pat yourself on the back about. Maybe we should just pat ourselves on the back, because it is hard. We're living in a three-dimensional world, these five senses that are pulling us away from the spirit, or pulling us towards a pathological lifestyle. So when we are doing really well, it's good to pat ourselves on the back, but don't get that confused with pride. I don't know where things changed, where we stopped thinking of pride as a deadly sin. Much love and God bless.